What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm be doing today is going to be a loaded potato soup recipe. This recipe was inspired by Troy over at T-Roy Cooks. He did a recipe similar to this. I'm going to be making a few adjustments, and one is we're going to be taking this from the slow cooker and rocking it in the pressure cooker. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the iCard above and description below, as well as his recipe with some of the adjustments that I made. Anyway, it's a very simple recipe from what I've seen. Let's get putting it together. Now, as I mentioned before, all the ingredients and amounts are going to be in the description below. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add our potatoes. And I do have a little bit of water in there with the potatoes. We're going to go ahead and add our chicken broth. Our onion. I'm using cilantro, which was a change that he didn't have in his. I believe he used dried parsley in his. I have some rough chopped garlic. Another change I'm going to make is I have some jalapenos that are chopped. And I have some thick cut bacon. I'm reserving some of the bacon for later to top it. Now what we're going to do is get this pressure cooker humming. Before we get this pressure cooker going, I'm just going to kind of stir everything in. We're just going to go ahead and season it. I have a little bit of pink salt, Himalayan pink sea salt, and we're going to season it down the road if it needs it, and a little bit of pepper. Now, I bought these electric grinders on Amazon. These things are awesome. If you want some information on them, take a look down in the description below. These things are awesome. Anyway, as far as the pressure goes on this, we're not going to have to worry about overcooking it or anything like that, because we're going to want these potatoes to get soft anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. We're going to get it on. I'm going to just go stew. I'm going to go about 40 minutes on this, and then we'll check it. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start on our sauce. Now, one of the changes I'm making to this recipe as well, instead of using butter, I'm going to use some of the bacon grease that I had left over from the bacon that I made. So we're just going to go ahead and add that in. And then we're going to add our flour. And I'm going to stir that in, and I'm going to let this cook for about 1.5 minutes once it starts getting hot, just to cook out any of the flour taste. Now that this is cooked for about 2 minutes, we're just going to go ahead and add our milk. And I'm going to turn this down and just let this simmer for about 15 minutes. So this just went for 40 minutes under pressure. I'm about to rapid release this pressure. Once that's done, we're going to check for tenderness. If it's where we want it to be, we're going to go ahead and add our sauce and our cheese to this mix. So here's what we're looking like right here. Let's go ahead and mash these up. These potatoes seem like they are nice and soft. And I know this looks a little thin right now, but we're about to add that white sauce, and that's going to go ahead and thicken it right on up. I do want there to be a little bit of a bite to this. If you want it to be more creamy, you could always blend this stuff up, but I want the texture of the potatoes. So we have that in. Now when T-Roy did his video, he added this white sauce, and to me it looked kind of thick. But now I can see why having it so thick is going to work, because that's going to be what thickens this up. So we got that in. We're going to go ahead and add our cheese. And then just kind of stir that in. And this should be hot enough. I'm not going to put it under pressure anymore, but I am going to put this lid back on and just let it sit for about 20 minutes. I am sorry about the barking, y'all, but it looks like mommy just got home. But take a look at the consistency of this soup. I'm going to go ahead and plate this stuff up and do a little taste test. As far as this plating goes, all we're going to do, add some of this soup to a bowl. Hit it with some of this cheese. Let's go a little generous on that. A little of this bacon. Now wait to taste this. A little cilantro on top. And that's a wrap. All right, guys, let's get into this soup and see if T-Roy led me down the right path. This right here is awesome, I'm telling you. Better than I thought. If you're not subscribed to T-Roy Cooks, run over there, subscribe to his channel. He has all kinds of good stuff going on over there. Anyway, before I take another bite, I want to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.